Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Megha Sharma. Indian exports to the United States of America have been hit with one of the harshest trade penalties in recent history, a 50% tariff. Two-thirds of India's exports to America, worth over $60 billion annually, are now in the tariff net. That's double the current rate of 25% notified earlier this month. Amidst higher tariffs, India's products might lose competitiveness, potentially benefiting countries like China and Vietnam, as tariffs imposed on India are also higher than those on these other nations, such as China, Vietnam, Indonesia and Japan. The question that arises is, what are India's alternative markets? What can India do to support its exporters is a valid question to delve into. Let's open up this discussion. On the telecast with me is SC Ralhan. He is the president of Federation of the Indian Export Organization. Thank you, Mr. Ralhan, for joining me on the telecast. And of course, the big question that everybody is wondering, how are the tariffs going to impact Indian businesses, the medium and small scale industries, and particularly the sectors of agriculture, fisheries, gems and jewelry, textiles, leather that are heavily impacted?
Actually, the government, we have already requested and written to the finance minister, to the prime minister, to the commerce minister, and I think they should come up with some policy, maybe some script up to 15%, because if we give 5% and 5% the importer absorbs, I think these things will move regularly like previous one.
Right, absolutely. How do you see the GST cuts and will they provide relief to exporters in the country?
GST doesn't affect that much for the exporters, because whatever the GST we pay for the purchase of raw material, we get the refund. So it is 12% or 18%, it doesn't affect so much.
Right, and also to understanding from you, what is the impact of the export units across country, and what can be done to provide relief to our exporters?
As I said, the government should immediately come forward, because if it is delayed, so it may be a big issue for the exporters, big problem for the exporters, because there can be layoff for the small units can just close their shops, and medium may go for the bankruptcy. This is a very serious issue. There are a lot of people who are 100% exporting to US. They are crying while talking to us, while giving their issues with us. They are crying like anything. So it's a big issue. Some people are exporting 30%, 35%, 40% to US to divert to the other countries. It's not that easy. It takes many years to look for the new market.
How do you see India faring against countries like China, Vietnam, Cambodia, Bangladesh and other regional economies in the subcontinent as well as in the ASEAN nations in the coming months?
Cambodia, Vietnam, Bangladesh, these countries, there the labor is very cheap, cheaper than India even. So, and 20%. 20% means 50%, there is a difference of 30%. Even if they give a discount of 25%, even then they will prefer to buy from those countries. And once the customer goes to those countries or China, I mean, then it will be very difficult for those people to come back to India.
Right, absolutely. And how can India keep its competitive edge at a time when there are certain industries that are losing low-cost suppliers like Bangladesh and Vietnam?
It's very difficult to reply this question. We are also competitive in a lot of countries which you are referring. I think now we are not competitive. They are much more competitive. They will certainly take away all the importers from US.
Absolutely. Now, what are the sectors that are going to be directly impacted?
Apparel, leather, furniture, engineering. I mean, all these items are, they are really vulnerable, and the people are really, they will be losing like anything.
Right. And what are the recommendations that you would want to give to the government, to the policy makers to reduce the impact of tariffs?
Recommendation, as I told you earlier, they should come up immediately. I mean, without delaying, not immediately, without delaying much, to come forward for the relief. Relief like exim script, exim script, or in some other form. We request them at least the 15% relief should be given by the government only to the exports to US.